What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and here's my next episode of Joe Winko Talk. So, before I get to what I'm going to be talking about, I just want to let everyone know I'm holding a fundraiser on GoFundMe because I'm saving up for a new gaming laptop so I can make my videos faster and so I don't have to sit at my desktop computer making them. So, please donate to my GoFundMe. Even if you can't donate, please help promote my channel and help promote my GoFundMe fundraiser. The link is in the description, so that would help too, so we could help find more people to donate to my GoFundMe. So yeah, please do that. Also, getting to what I'm going to be talking about in this episode of Joe Winko Talk. This is going to be another morbid topic for Joe Winko Talk. It's going to be about the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, aka the OJ Simpson case. And this was brought up a lot during my live stream sessions on YouNow. It was brought up twice on two different times on two different times in my live stream sessions. So someone would mention OJ Simpson and the whole OJ Simpson case. So I wanted to do a Joe Winko talk about it. To be completely honest with you, I don't really know much about the OJ Simpson case. I do know quite a few details, but not exactly everything. And I most likely will never know everything, because no one knows exactly everything. But OJ Simpson was a famous football player who was accused of killing his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her 25-year-old friend, Ronald Goldman, in her house, like outside her house, actually. I'm gonna get to that. But someone in my live stream said that they found new evidence about the OJ Simpson case. They said that they dug up a knife or something like that was used to kill them. I'm not exactly sure if that's true. I haven't really looked into it or researched it. But I also know that Kim Kardashian's father was the defense attorney for OJ Simpson. How appropriate. And I also read about the case online, a few facts about the case, that apparently OJ Simpson was abusing Nicole years before leading up to her death and everything. And also, I seen the crime scene photos for Nicole Simpson's murder, and there was something that stood out and something that kind of surprised me about the whole case and kind of fascinated me a little bit too, like morbid curiosity. Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman, both of them were killed outside. Like, they weren't killed inside their house, they were killed outside on the front yard. And that kind of shocked me. I was wondering, how did he kill them outside? Because they were killed in a suburb. There were a bunch of houses around them, and I read about what happened to Nicole, and her death was pretty brutal. She was stabbed to death, and her throat was slashed, and I heard one person told me that her throat was slashed really deep, and her tongue was pulled out through her throat. That's so gory. But she also had defensive wounds on her hands and everything. And I was thinking, how can a man murder two people in a front yard? Don't you think one of them would have escaped, or someone would have started screaming and the neighbors would have heard it and tried to help them or call it 911, or they would have seen it? But I seen this one video on YouTube. It was like a reenactment, an animation reenactment of how they were killed, of how they were both killed, Nicole and Ronald. I'm not gonna say that OJ did it because he was found innocent, and I don't really know for sure what happened. I don't really think about who it was, who the real killer was, or if it really was OJ Simpson. Definitely possible, but I'm not going to say that in this video. This is more about how they were killed and how the killer was able to murder them outside without anyone catching them. I did find this one animated video analysis showing exactly how they think they were killed, like a theory of how they were killed. And it did make a little sense, but there are some contradictions in it. Let me show it to you right now. I have the video right here. Okay, and I'm going to play it right now. Alright. 3, 2, 1, now.
Engineers and forensics experts who were given unprecedented access to the Simpson-Goldman murder scene have assembled this scenario.
You're seeing an overhead aerial shot of the Bundy Drive geometry of this section of town where you can see there's a number of condos side by side.
That's where they die.
This is where the murder occurs. In reality, it's covered up with trees. There are steps and a gate and a dirt area beside the front entryway and a patio. But we took the tree out so you could see that. Now we're going to put the tree in because the night of the murder, the tree provides incredible shade and it's extremely dark in this area. At this point, Mr.
Don't you
Goldman
think
comes
she'd
up to
have
the gate,
lights or something?
punches it, and rings the doorbell. Nicole Simpson leaves her condo, and she actually leaves the front door ajar to come down and open the gate. There's obviously a speakerphone, and she knows who her visitor is.
It was a
Literally, the
condo?
assailant has to come from the patio area, or the physical arrangements of the subjects make no sense. The way he attacks them immobilizes them both. He hits the right side of Mr. Goldman's face with his left hand, and does so very hard. There's a substantial bruise on the right side of his face. Simultaneously, or very soon thereafter, we believe the assailant hits Nicole Simpson on the left side of her face with the butt of his knife, the pommel. And that knocks her right side of her head into the wall. We believe that knocks her out.
Oh, gosh.
Which enables the assailant now to come down and deal with the number one threat, which is the young, able, and in pretty good shape Mr. Goldman. We postulate that he puts the point of the knife behind Mr. Goldman's head and actually uses the knife like a fork with his hand over the mouth to raise Mr. Goldman to his feet.
Like
The medical
Jason
examiner
Voorhees?
has testified that that wound alone would have been sufficient to kill Mr. Goldman if nothing else had been done to him.
No
It's
shit.
obvious from the medical evidence that the assailant has a hand over Mr. Goldman's mouth, is having a talk with Mr. Goldman, and is emphasizing his points with the knife. The next fatal blow received by Mr. Goldman is a plunge right over his heart, hitting him in the left side of his torso. Another thrust.
What a sadistic
Again for the
psychopath.
back, upwards under the
Jeez.
ribcage, which is also a fatal thrust. And he takes a final knife blow in this side, another fatal wound. And we postulate he falls away into the fence. We see abrasion marks down the back of his scalp, which we believe is a result of falling down the fence. And then he falls over, and that is literally the position he is found by the police the next morning. With
Reminds
Mr.
me of
Goldman
Scream.
dealt with, the assailant is now free to turn his attention to Nicole. The assailant uses the same technique to lift her as he does Mr. Goldman. Hand over mouth, most important. It's clear, again, that the assailant is talking to Nicole Simpson. The reason we know this is before the final fatal cut of her throat, there are 3 other small cuts on her throat, parallel to where the fatal blow is going to be administered. It's clearly, again, torture. The final cut across her throat is going to be delivered with her head cocked substantially back. And
It
the
was a little
strength
more
of
than a
that
cut,
is
really.
enormous. And by that I mean she is going to receive a single slice to the front of the throat that is going to be so deep it is going to nick her spinal cord. That requires tremendous strength for a single cut. I don't care how sharp your knife is. The assailant notices he has lost his wool cap. And in the animation, he touches his head. Unlike our animation, which has got enough light level for you to see what's going on, in the real scene, this was very, very dark, and it's a dark wool cap. He's trying to feel for the wool cap. He can't feel anything through the gloves. He has to take the gloves off to feel for the wool cap. By taking off both gloves and not being careful about it, he actually ends up leaving a glove behind and not retrieving the wool cap. We speculate that something disturbed him in his search and cut it short, whether it be a dog barking or some neighbor's voice or something.
Yeah,
when the investigators arrive, they're going to find Nicole's body in this position, Mr. Goldman's in this one. They're going to find the knit skull cap here. They're going to find a glove very close by it, Mr. Goldman's pager, and his keys. are all going to be found in these relative positions. We believe this to be the most detailed reconstruction done to date. We hope it remains the standard by which all other reconstructions are judged by, even the prosecutions.
Of course, an animation from the OJ Simpson defense team would show a different conclusion. But for this animation, failure investigators used evidence presented in court, autopsy reports, and detailed data they gathered from the scene of the murders.
The medical evidence is literally the most important to establishing this scenario of the crime. The choreography, the movement of the characters through the scene, has been driven by the medical evidence, because the choreography has to produce the wounds, and they have to be produced in a certain order.
Jesus, choreography? This ain't a music video.
I believe the number is 26 African-American hairs in it. There doesn't seem to be any contrary testimony or even dispute over the hat as belonging to the assailant. So we merely followed the physical evidence of the scene.
How do you tell if the hair is African-American? I mean, white people can have curly hair. Jeesh. Okay, so, that was it. I thought that was really interesting. You know, another thing I learned from that video was that they found a cap that had hairs in it. Why weren't those compared for DNA with OJ Simpson, then? I'm assuming they must have been. If they didn't match OJ Simpson, then why does everyone think it was him? Why does everyone still think it's him then? Because if it would have matched OJ Simpson, then why didn't he go to prison for killing both of those people like that? And also, there is another contradiction in that theory. I mean, in that animation. At the end of the animation, they didn't focus on this, but at the end of that animation, they show the killer running not out the gate, but out the back. But when I looked at the crime scene photos, first of all, the gate looked farther away from the stairs where Nicole Brown's body was found. There were bloody footprints all over the pathway leading to the gate. Because it was a longer pathway. The stairs were here, and it was a longer distance from the gate that led out to the street. There were bloody footprints leading from the stairs all the way to the gate. So, if the killer... I don't think the killer ran out the back. I think he must have ran out the front and escaped. But I don't know. Also, if Nicole Brown was knocked unconscious, why were there defense wounds all over her arms and on her hands? Because that's what I read. I mean, she wouldn't be holding up her hands trying to dodge the attack if she was knocked unconscious. Unless unless the killer inflicted the defense wounds on her before he knocked her out. But wouldn't that give her enough time to scream? Because if she saw the killer with a knife knock out her friend, then knock her out, wouldn't that give her enough time to at least, like, shout or scream? Or maybe she was in shock and she didn't shout and scream. But, you know, it's very interesting, and it really did remind me of the movie Scream, for some reason. And, you know, another thing is, why would you keep your front porch dark at night? Especially if you're walking out to get your friend. And it was a condo, too? So apparently other people were living in that building. Wouldn't they have noticed something strange? They probably were people who noticed something strange, but I didn't get the chance to read about them, apparently. So, if you guys know of them, please, like, mention them in the comments. Like, if there are other people who noticed something strange in what they said, please mention that in the comments. Because there's still not much I know about this case, to be honest with you. I didn't really research it enough. I know, that's my bad. But, yeah. I still found it interesting, though. So, I still don't know for sure if OJ did it, and I'm not going to say it in this video, as I said earlier. Please don't start an argument in the comment section saying, oh, OJ is the killer, oh no he isn't, because that's the last thing I want in this video, arguments in the comment section, because if you do, I'm just going to delete the comments, just letting you all know. And I also felt really bad for Nicole Brown because she reminds me of Andrea from The Walking Dead. And I liked Andrea from The Walking Dead. She was one of my favorite characters. Nicole Brown looks like Andrea from The Walking Dead, and that's why. And I feel really bad for Nicole Brown, and it's really sad that she was murdered and she had to suffer through that. It's really messed up too. I'm not sure why someone would do that, not just take one person's life, but two people's lives. It's messed up, really. So, yeah, that's that, really. In other news, and what's going on with my YouTube channel, my 4th episode of my Sims 2 zombie series, The Rising Dead, it's on its way. I only have a few more scenes left, to be honest with you. I was kind of slacking off on it. That's my phone ringing, just ignore that. To be honest with you, I was kind of slacking off on it, but I am going to get to work on it. And it will be done by this month. I promise it will. I'm going to try to have all the rest of the episodes done, because there's going to be 8 episodes in Season 1. But it might take me a little longer. I might not have them done until May or June, but I would want to finish all 4 of them, the rest of the remaining episodes, by April. And yeah, that's basically it. So do not forget to donate to my GoFundMe or help promote my GoFundMe. Even if you can't donate to it, just help promote my channel and say, hey, this boy is saving up money for a new gaming laptop so he can make his Sims 2 horror movies and Grand Theft Auto horror movies faster. Can you please donate to him? Every little bit helps, because it seriously does. Please tell me what you think of this video too, and what you thought of that reenactment. Do you think that's exactly how it happened? Please let me know in the comments section, and please let me know why you think no one saw anything or heard anything, because I can tell you this. If one of my neighbors were getting brutally stabbed up and murdered at night, because I'm usually up all night, and sometimes I look out my window and everything, because I like looking at the night sky, but you know, if someone was getting killed outside, I don't care how dark it is, I would definitely notice, because they'd be screaming and everything, and I'd see this shadow and everything, and sometimes I actually look for stuff like that, something suspicious outside. I don't know, that's my strange paranoid autism mind. But I would definitely notice it. But I don't know why no one noticed this at all. Strange. And why the heck was the front porch dark? People usually always have lights on their front porch. They wouldn't walk outside to let their friend in, and it's really dark outside. And what about the moonlight? That must have shown something. Even though there's a huge tree blocking the way, it's not going to block everything. Well, it was summer. So the tree, and it was in California, so the trees still do have their leaves. So I'm not sure. But yeah, please let me know what you think. And it's kind of weird that this was brought up on my live stream so much. So that's basically it. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to donate to my GoFundMe or promote my GoFundMe and help me find more people to donate to my GoFundMe. And that's it. Peace out, people.